Welcome to the podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Clem, and this is Turns Out We're Gay.
Welcome back to the podcast, guys. We hope you've been loving the guests over the past few weeks, and we really wanted to finish season 2 off with a bang. But before we talk about today's guest and jump into today's episode, we just wanted to take a moment to say thank you all so much. We've had so much love, support, special messages over the course of season 2 of Turns Out We're Gay, and honestly, we appreciate it so much. We've got so many new followers, so welcome. So many people that have been binging the episodes, which has been really cute and amazing, and Clem and I have just absolutely loved every single message and like and comment that we've received this season. Season 2 has been such a joy to create, and we're so excited for what's coming up for not only season 3, but we have something so special that Clem and I have been working on over the past few months. So make sure you're following us on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube and all the places, so you're the first to know of when season 3 will be coming out and sneak peeks of our surprise. Today's episode is the season 2 finale, and of course we're closing off the season with a bit of fun by bringing the incredible Milo Hartill on. Milo is fabulous, incredibly smart, funny, unfiltered, vibrant, sexy, and so many more things. Milo has generated an incredible following online for being a talented actress, model, show artist, and honestly just for being so fucking cool. If you follow Milo, you know just how authentic and real she is. Today we get to have a chat with Milo about sexuality, new relationships, body positivity, performance and arts, and so much more. So welcome to the podcast, Milo. Hey, Milo.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. We're so excited to have you on.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks.
Another Melbourne gal. Love that. I don't know much about the Melbourne queer scene, actually, so I'm excited to chat to you. I should know more, but I don't.
You're Melbourne?
No, says
I'm Melbourne.
You're Melbourne.
Yeah.
But you moved to Sydney.
Yeah, but I was straight while I was in Melbourne. I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
You didn't say that before. No, I'm really
Milo just storms out.
I'm so sorry. But good thing is my sister is very queer and very much in the queer scene in Melbourne. So she educates me a little bit, but to be fair, I know nothing.
Well, I've heard she's a fan. Shout out to your sister.
Shout out to Emily Cassidy. She'll love this.
I've never heard her so excited for an episode, and aside from this morning when we said we were having you on.
She was literally like, what?
She should have come.
I know. I was like, oh, I really wish I invited you now, because she's brutal, but she's quite funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
hilarious.
awesome.
Yeah, but she's so brutal. But I feel like you two would have got along so well. But anyway, shout out to Emily. Sorry you're not here.
Hey,
Sorry,
Emily. Illy Emily.
she says Illy too. You guys would have been best friends. So sorry, but maybe next time.
Tough shit, Emily. Joke. I don't know you well enough to say that. Imagine we know each other really well and that was really funny and charming, and then you're like, wow, Milo's so cool.
Milo told me to suck shit. It was the best day.
Best day of my
gonna have
Milo
one repeat.
Hartill said I said shuck shit, and it was the best day of my life.
Oh my God. She'll talk about it all day at work.
Good.
Anyway, sorry, Emily. Be
Now
jealous,
I have
though.
questions about Emily, but
You can ask away. Go for
I'll ask
gold.
afterwards. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
ask her.
You know what? I'll
Make her nervous.
Yeah. She literally was like, oh my God, that's so slay. And I was
It
like,
is
"Oh,
so
yeah."
slay.
She was so excited. And then she was a little bit annoyed that I didn't invite her. But whatever.
Well, there's
Sorry.
still time.
That's what sisters do.
Well, it is. You're like, sorry, that's my cool friend. Fuck off.
Yeah,
She even
exactly.
said, she's like, today's the only day I'm not working. And I was like,
Wow.
soz.
Sucks to be
Yeah,
you.
you literally skimmed over that. I heard you never mentioned anything like that on the phone.
Oh, poor
You're like, oh, well.
Emily.
That's like my sister started doing fan edits. She's only 11. But she was
Oh.
like, I'm going to do a fan edit of you and you have to post it. And she sent it and I went, it's awesome.
Oh, that's so cute though.
Yeah, it is so cute. My little sister doing fan edits of me, and then I'm like, oh, you're my fan? She's like, no, I'm just showing you my work. And I'm like, okay.
It's part of my portfolio.
Literally. I've done work for Milo Hartill. I'm like, your surname's also Hartill, dickhead.
She's like, it's pronounced different to mine. We're not related.
Yeah, it's Hartill as opposed to Hartill.
Oh my God. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on. We're so excited. And we thought we would start off with, for those who's listening who may not know who you are, which would be very silly of them, who is Milo? Why don't we start there?
Milo is a actor, performer, influencer, model, and some would say activist. I think I just believe that like everybody deserves to have stories performed on stages and be represented in the world. And I'm a little bit of a dickhead. I did a solo show called Black, Fat and Faggy, and I think that also kind of summarizes me quite well as well. And I love to talk shit. I think that's Milo. What else? I like the color pink. I discovered the other day that my 3 favorite animals are butterflies, elephants, and snakes.
Snakes.
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, they're awesome.
What do you mean? Why?
They're so cute. You got to
How
see
did
the
you
cute
go from
ones.
butterfly elephants to what did someone call them the other day? The bloke back there with no,
No
shoulders.
Is what they called a snake.
Yeah.
Mr. No Shoulders.
Mr. No Shoulders.
Oh, I love snakes. I think they're so cute. Sometimes if you meet really nice snakes, they'll like nuzzle into your face. They're so cute.
And then bite you?
Not if if they're pythons and they bite you, it's like a dog biting you.
Yeah.
Dogs bite.
I mean, I'm not even necessarily worried about the bite. I'm more worried. You know what I don't like about snakes is that they like strangle.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but humans do that too.
Yeah. Yeah. You make a valid
And look,
point.
it can be pretty
I
fun.
love them. I'm like, I've heard. Not that I've ever done that. If my partner's listening, choose to say silent.
I plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's Milo. I don't know. What else is there to know?
I love it.
I love fled pants.
I love it.
I think they're charming.
Yes. Yes.
I've got them on right now.
I know. When I saw you
I was
crossing
very
the street,
charmed.
I was like, yeah, they're a vibe. I love it. So you were in your own play, did you say?
Yeah, I wrote and performed my first solo show this year, which was called Black, Fat and Faggy, and I did it in Sydney. It was awesome.
So what was it about?
About me, it had 3 acts, the black act, the fat act, and the faggy act. And then I told stories and sang songs, and it was good. My partner came to it, and I told a story for 10 minutes about eating them out, and I was like, they're either going to break up with me or ask me to be their girlfriend, and luckily it was the latter.
Oh, I love it.
Thank God. Yeah, it was just silly. I feel like it was a celebration of being black, fat and faggy, but not ignoring the obvious downsides of those 3 things. But I just wanted to talk about my experience of being a person and make people laugh. And I think I did those 2 things. And I sang well.
Oh, I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just
I wish we went.
YOLO. Yeah, I
It would have
know.
been so fun.
I know. I had lots of requests from lesbian couples that came that they were like, so you said you and your partner are open? And I went, I am also, as you are well aware, in a full-time show for the next 2 weeks. And they were like, so true. Do you want to get a drink afterwards?
Yes.
And I was like, I do, but I know the drinking leads to spooning, leads to forking, and I've got a show in the daytime tomorrow, so I won't be doing that. But it was funny and great story.
Clem just got very turned on by the accent.
I love
already
that
know
accent.
it.
The accents can't. I love doing accent. I literally met a real Irish person yesterday, and I was doing the accent because I do it, and then she was like, "Oh, that's actually quite good," and I went, "I know." I've been working on it for a very long time. I've been working on it since the end of 2021. Anyway, regular accent.
Have you ever been to Ireland?
No, me and my housemate watched Irish porn for like 2 months. and
Oh,
then-
yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
yeah. We got
You would understand that.
Yeah. I didn't know that was a category. I will be searching it later.
Well, we could only find audio porn, which I thought was really funny. Like it was just like, oh, you've got a lovely cock on you. I'll have to roid you now. And we were like, yeah, true. True. Like, wait, what was her accent work on cock? Cock. You got a lovely cock. Cock. Oh, no, that wasn't quite right. Cock. You got a lovely, yeah, right. Actors are fucked up.
Oh my God. We are now going to be listening to Irish porn. Audio porn.
I'm so here for it.
And then we'll forget it's on, and then we'll just hear you've got a lovely cock in the background.
You two will be about to come, and then you'll hear top of the morning to you, and go, ah! Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I love it. I love it. Okay, so why don't we go all the way back to Milo coming out and your queer experience and your coming out story, and let's like take it all the way back to where you are now.
Very, very swift summary. We had a movie night, me and my friends. We all had to show our favourite movie. I showed Halle Berry's Catwoman. My friend said, why do you like this film? It's awful. And I said, Halle Berry looks hot in it. Oh my God, I think I might be bi. To which half of my friends were like, yeah, girl, obviously. And I went, it's not that obvious. And they went, all right. And then the other half of my friends were like, does that mean that you're like into me? And I was like, no, couldn't be less into you. Your mum, however, but you know. And then I came out to my family, which kind of drip fed, but I came out to my mum and she was like, oh yeah, we thought you were a lesbian. And I went, so no congrats or like crazy story I can like sell for money about my mum being not accepting. And she was like, no, can we keep watching our show or do we need to talk about this more? And I was like, oh, I guess that's it. Really? She was like, you been sleeping with anyone? I was like, no, I haven't even had my first kiss. And she went, thought so. And I went, okay. And she went, no, not that. It's just you're very closed off. And I went, okay. And then we watched the show and then that was kind of it. And then I was like, when should I tell Nana and Granddad? And she was like, just ease it in. And then I said that and my granddad was like, as long as you're being safe while you're munching muff, I'm happy. And I went, oh, Granddad. And then my nan was kind of like, if you're bi, could you date men? And I said, I could. And she said, no pressure though, you don't have to end up with one. But, you know, it would just be easier for you societally. But obviously I'm accepting of it. And I was like, yes, Nan. And she was like, you know, we'll just, you know, just whoever makes you happy. And I went, oh, I know. And she went, okay, well, congratulations. All right, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Bye. And that was kind of it. And then I flip-flopped with the idea because obviously being straight would be so much easier. Like, you don't have to come out. You just, like, bring a boy home and then your family goes, yay, when are you getting engaged? But, you know, I wasn't the first person to come out in my family, which was pretty good. Like, my auntie kind of copped the brunt of anything. By the time I did it, it was old news. They went, oh, you and every other dyke. And I went,
This
so
again.
True. And this again, we get it. You like to lick pussy. Move on. But, yeah, I kind of flip-flopped with the idea. I was like, maybe I just think I'm queer because I have lots of gay friends. And then I would be like, I'm straight. And I'd be like, that's not right. And, like, sex with men was like, okay. Like, I did it.
I participated.
I got very good at acting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great acting lesson.
I was gonna say, I have a lot of men that I need to credit for my acting journey because if you can convince a man you've come after they've been having sex with you for 5 minutes, you can do anything. Yeah, Shakespeare, huh? Old
you been
Sam,
straight?
old Sam from WA. Now he taught me a lot. But then I had a horrific friendship, situationship, slept together one time, break up with a boy, and then I was like, I'm never sleeping with boys ever again. And then I started dating someone that was AFAB, but then I was like, this is awesome. But I don't think I'm in love with this person. I think we have awesome, what's the word, like spark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've kind of come to like non-practicing bisexual is where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I'm sure I could sleep with some men at some point. Like I don't look at men and go, I would never sleep with that. But I have awesome sex and relationship and like I'm like, wow, I just could not imagine ever like having the conversations like having a relationship with a man that I have in a relationship with my partner.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, this communication thing doesn't work and they go, awesome, like let's like talk about how we can make that work. Whereas like you'd say that in relationship with boys and they'd go, I'm just not a talker, and you'd go, so true. Sorry for bringing it up.
Yeah.
I actually don't need to talk about it anymore, don't worry.
Actually, I'm like really chill. I'm really chill. So.
Oh my God, that's so true. That's so true. And you were saying before as well, like lesbian-ish. You're kind of sitting in that space.
It's like lesbian-ish, lesbian-esque. I like don't seek out men anymore. And I don't know if that was like, I feel like there's just so much learnt heterosexuality that is just like a part of existing in the fucking 2000s in history, especially in this country that is just like, I don't know, like I've always had a relatively accepting family and, you know, I can't say I've ever had like a horror story of coming out where I've had a friend be like, oh, I don't know who you are. Like all my friends were kind of like, yeah, dyke, we know. And move on. But just like, even still being in such an accepting family, being a part of the arts, being really outspoken and political, I still took so long to get to like, maybe I'm lesbian, but I don't know. Still, I wouldn't say that I'm certain that like maybe some guy comes along that's really lesbian coded and he wouldn't sweep my feet away. I don't know. Or like I meet a trans man that is like gorgeous and perfect and I'm like, you're the love of my life. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I'm just faggy.
I'm just a fag. Love it.
Literally.
The best part, I think, now is that you don't need labels as much. Before it was very much like gay, lesbian, bi.
Yeah.
That was it. And now, especially coming out later in life for me, I found that like there's so many more labels, which has also meant that there's no need for labels in general. And so that becomes a really nice place to just like play around with sexuality physically and metaphorically. Play around with sexuality.
Absolutely.
But just enjoy it for what it is.
I proclaimed this year of the lesbian slut, and then I met my partner and was like, la la la, kicking my feet and giggling.
So cute. Okay, let's talk about your partner. Because you seem just so like glowy when you talk about them.
Yeah.
When did you meet?
When we met, I slept with someone who I'm sure will listen to this podcast because they're like, I know we slept together and like it's like done, but like you're so cool. That was awesome. So I slept with this person and then I went home to a housewarming. Like I came back to Melbourne to a housewarming. And then I walked into the party and was like, guys, I'm in my lesbian slut era. And our partner was at the housewarming, just like, they look so hot. And we're sitting in the corner, like not saying a word because they're so stoic. And I like walked in, like said that, and they laughed. And I was like, who's that? And then they didn't really say anything. They just looked hot and fixed their wavy hair. And I was like, who is that? And my best friend was like, the hot lesbian that I have been talking to you about for ages. It's like, because we like have a friend group and there's a Venn diagram and there's like 4 people that are like in both friend groups. And then sometimes the friend groups mix.
Yeah.
And my best friend was like, yeah, the one that I've been telling you about that I thought you would think is hot that's in the other side of the friend group, that's them. And I went, oh, yes, you were right.
Your friend's like, and you just came in and said you were in your lesbian slut era. And I've been telling you.
Well, they were also in their lesbian slut era. And yeah, I met them. They didn't really say much, but I was determined to make them laugh because they just didn't speak to me. I tried to give them a drink. I was like, I've got some, would you like a drink? And they were like, no, I'm sober. And I went,
Perfect.
well, did you want to pass it on?
Did you want to pass it on?
And they were like, sure. And then I like turned to my friend and was like, that was so embarrassing. And then I heard them laugh because they still had their attention on me. And then I went, whatever. And then we met again. They came to another group event and I was like, okay, I'm going to flirt with them this time. And I flirted with them. And then they followed me on Instagram and I went, yes. I was so in. Because I'm like, once they get to my Instagram, that's doing half the selling for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I just got to get them there.
I've already done the work.
I've done the work. I've put in the hours and the algorithm to be like, I look hot on there. Sorry. And then they posted something on this story about they, them lesbians being back. Like they were like, they, them lesbians were out, but they're back. And I said, since when were they, them lesbians gone? I feel like you're the top of the lesbian food pyramid. And then I hear later on that I sent them that and they were talking to their housemate. And they were like, I think that Milo girl's trying to flirt with me. And their housemate was like, go for it. Flirt back. Go. And then I messaged them after a festival and was like, hey, I'm at this festival and I know you drive and I think you should pick me up and take us back to your house. And then they did. And then,
Wow.
I know, forward.
Very forward. I love it.
I know. It was because people are like, you're Milo Hartill. I could never flirt with you. So I just am like, I just got to put it out there, I guess.
I guess I'll do it.
I guess I'll flirt with them. I'm not going to say I love an Italian little mask. Sorry about it. Are you kidding?
You get what you want.
And I do. And I do. So awesome.
When did that all happen? Like earlier this year?
Yeah, like Jan and Feb.
Oh,
and
so
then
it's super fresh.
yeah, and then they drove from Melbourne to Sydney to see my solo show. And then I told a story in it about eating them out and luckily they weren't offended. And then they asked me to be their girlfriend and it was awesome. And that was in April.
They were like, and do that again to me. I like that story.
Yeah. Let's make more stories.
And we've made lots. And we've made so many.
I love it.
Oh my
We're
God,
trying to
that's
make a
amazing.
baby. It's not like happening yet, but like I reckon one of these days.
I think if you just practice more.
we are practicing. We're considering teaching. You know, you never know. You never know.
Yep, I love it.
I know. I mean, fuck the biology for us. We will just continue to practice and
Yeah.
not worry about the repercussions.
Well, I have dreams about stem cell babies. Like every time I'm ovulating, I dream about us making a stem cell baby, and I go, "Whoa, that's a lot."
That's happening.
I literally can't wait. They sent me baby pictures the other day, and I went, "Oh, I need it. Oh, I need it so bad.
Gosh, I love that.
Oh, I need it so bad."
Oh, that's so cute.
That's so silly.
I'm
I'm 24.
I mean, look, we.
You're not talking to the right people.
Well, okay,
really.
so I was going to say we don't want kids.
Right.
So my question to you is like, is it just like a maternal thing? Are you just like, I desperately want just this cute little
I just want to be a
cherub?
mum. I just want to be a mum so bad.
Oh, that's
And I want them to be a dad. like, I just know that it's just gonna be so like us at their swim meet or whatever our baby is into, and it's gonna be me like, yeah, you're so good. And them being like, baby, you're embarrassing them. And I'm like, I'm just proud. And then me afterwards being like, we need to get all the pictures. And Kiara just being like, mate, we're so proud of you.
yeah.
You're such a star. And I'm gonna be like, that's my baby. You know? I can just see it.
I feel like it's a whole like TV show like made out with it. It's so good.
100. And it's also just so ridiculous because I'm almost 6 foot and Kiara's 5'4". I think they're shorter than that, but they think they're 5'4".
Okay.
We'll give it 5'4".
And it's just so funny. Like I just can see like big brash black mama and teeny tiny Italian dad at whatever we're celebrating our child doing, and it's just so silly looking.
Oh, those kids, I love it. The kids are just
Oh,
like, and that's
100%.
my parents.
Oh, it'll be me screaming and them going, yeah, so that's my mum.
yeah.
And the small guy next to her, that's my other mum. Oh, I can't wait.
Pretending to like not look your way and just
Literally.
straight ahead.
I'm going, yeah, I know you can hear me. Theatre train, turn this way.
Oh, but I love that because like you clearly want kids and you can see that, and I'm like, that's exciting for you. Whereas
Oh, and it's so exciting
Yeah.
with them because I've never like dated someone and thought about our
That's
kids or like been excited to think about the future with anyone. I've kind of been like, this is right now, and then
Yeah.
who knows where I'll be in 6 months. You know,
You said you were moving back to Sydney for a little while. Are they
ish for
coming-
shows. No, they're not coming with. It's devastating.
I put way of a downer on that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
Wow.
They're going to be listening to this like moving.
Yes, you never told me.
No, we've talked about it. Unfortunately, it's trage. It's so trage. But musical theatre girly, etc. Gotta go where the work is.
I
Yeah.
feel like any lesbian story really has to have a bit of a long
distance.
We
Yeah.
started with that, but
Yeah.
not for very long.
Did not last long. We have an episode called U-hauling.
And that's what you two did?
Yeah.
We like
How
to
long's you
say we
hauling?
did-
How long?
Once
Phil.
we met face to face, what was it?
Oh, it
3
was
weeks or
within
something?
3 weeks.
And
And
like
how long
across
were
the
you
country.
seeing each other?
We'd been talking for about 2-3 months before that.
And you moved in 4 months.
She bought me a
Oh,
house.
yeah. I bought a caravan. We moved into a
Yeah.
caravan. Not even like a house. We moved into a caravan.
Yeah.
That's so diva.
Yeah,
We're
like, it's so
determined to
gay.
make it to 18 months before we move in, which is ambitious for lesbians, but we're just like,
I was like,
We
that
can
you
do
may
it.
as well get married at that point.
I know. Well, we've been watching The Ultimatum Queer Love. They've never
Oh my
seen
God,
it.
it's so good.
Talking to the right people.
Oh my God, it's so good. It was literally, but every time it would flash on screen, like, been together for 18 months, Kiara would be like, 18 months, 18 months. If you sent me an ultimatum in 18 months, I was like, I'm not going to set you an ultimatum
Oh
in
my
18
God, there
months.
was someone on there for like 12 months and I was like,
I know.
are you joking?
My thing is, sorry, baby, if I'm wearing a piece of jewelry for the rest of my life, you're going to be saving for a few years to get it. Like, respectfully, I want a diamond and it's going to be nice and it's going to be done by the one jeweler that I wear, and
Yep.
you're going to meet with her several times and make sure it's exactly perfect. And I know that financially that's at least 5 years. So
And at
That's
least
fine.
2 years to make once you've purchased.
oh, 100%. And like,
Yeah.
I get that. And I don't want you to do it before it's ready.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
So you're
I
like, so
know.
start the process now.
Yeah.
I modeled for the designer that I want to make the rings. And I was like, so the ring that I like was this much? And my partner was like, it's like 4 or 5 years of savings. And I said, I know. So I'm very excited for our engagement party in 2029. Yeah. Just 2029. That's when we need to have it ready by. Yeah. And it takes about a year to make. So 2028, like April, I'm thinking, you start talking to her. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds
Need a
good.
deposit by then.
Deposit. Well, deposit's only 20%, so that's fine. They can do that. They could ideally talk to her next year. But that
speak
would be really
fast.
soon. I know. I'm aware.
I
Excited.
think I actually saw, is it the jeweler? You did a post recently with them. I really liked it.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
But I want something from her
It
diamond
also looks a little
collection.
bit expensive.
Millie Savage. Everyone check them out. They're awesome. I wear so much of her. Whenever I have an opening night, I'm like, can I pop in and take some stuff? And she's like, yes, you can. Sorry, it's so cunt.
It's these ones. Yeah.
Love it.
Have you seen I Kissed a Girl yet?
No, I don't know where to watch it.
Well, you can, if you have a VPN, you can do it through the BBC, like UK official website.
Isn't it hosted by Danny Minogue?
Yeah.
So cunt. I've met her so many times, and every time I'm like,
Oh my God. That's
You'll
so
love
good.
it because they all pop off every
Oh
time
my God.
she walks on.
That's the only thing I would say about that show. Every time Danny walked out, it was like so enthusiatic. I was like, by the
Okay.
17th time,
yeah,
I'm
me
sure
and Danny are
the
going,
the
hey,
dress is
girl.
cute, but like,
yeah.
they
surely your
literally, like,
friends.
But also lesbians are crazy.
Yeah. They are.
Sorry.
Fair.
I'm sorry. I probably think by the 17th time, especially if I was pissed off with everyone in the house, which I anticipate I would be, she'd walk in and I'd be like, woo, Daddy, you're the only hot woman here.
I could so see it.
Oh my God. You're in a relationship, so you can't go on those shows, but it would be such a vibe if you did.
I got asked to go on to, I don't know if I can say it. I'm going to say it. I got asked to go on to maths. I got asked to like cast
really?
for maths. And I was like, do you follow me? I'm like happily in love. And they're like, oh, well, would you just do it? And I went, no.
Would you just do it?
I don't want to be one of those storylines where it's like you go on and someone goes, well, I follow her on Instagram and she had a partner like a week before we started filming.
Oh my God, that happened on Love is Blind. And then it was a guy and he came on at the like reunion and they were like, we found out you were fully engaged before the show and you're like messaging.
And he was just like, yeah, I was.
He looked
Well,
like
that
he was about
happened
to
on-
burst into tears.
Abby Chatfield's show, was it? F-Boy Island. One of the boys had a partner.
Yeah.
These boys are crazy. It couldn't be me. How you got the time? I don't have the time for that.
I know. So are you open now with your partner? Oh, cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
We're 24 and 22. It's like,
Yeah.
I think it's unrealistic to be. Maybe I'm just a pessimist, but I think it's unrealistic to be. I'm like, I don't want to. There's so much sex out there that I can't provide, but maybe they'll find out they love that.
Well, also, yeah, you're both obviously so busy and you're doing so much and traveling and things like that. So
Yeah, and I don't want to be like, I'm doing this musical and I'm going to be on tour for 9 months and you just got to rub one out while I'm not there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said earlier that it's like everyone your age at the moment is open. It's kind of like
Hyperbole from me, but yeah.
you were like, I just want everyone to be open.
Well, yeah.
Bloody hope so.
Figure it out.
Oh, I love that. So a bit of background is that I was in poly before with my ex-husband and then I hooked up with girls and then I was like, I'm very fucking gay. But I never, like, poly open, a little bit different. Obviously, there's like quite a big difference. I think people don't quite get that it's not the same thing. But I do think it's like more common now. Like it's quite normalized to just be in an open relationship and we're seeing a lot more of it, which is awesome. Do you think it's quite a normal thing that you're seeing in the...
I think so. I think like I know lots of people that are poly and I know lots of people that are open and like I don't think poly is for me. Even just on like I was talking to someone about it and I was like even just like on a... If I'm in a relationship with someone, I want to be giving it my all and giving the attention it deserves and like supporting my partner, I just have enough time to do that for one person.
Yeah.
And that one person is me, plus my partner. And then like, how do you
Poly's hard.
Sounds hard.
It's hard. It's exhausting.
It sounds exhausting.
It's the
And like the hard conversations that I have just with my partner, I can't imagine having to do that
Repeat that.
2, 3, 4 times over. What?
imagine it in a triad.
No,
where you've got
I won't be doing
three
that.
people's emotions.
They had like group chats. I'm like, imagine having one of these
Yeah.
hectic conversations in a group
Well,
chat.
the thing is that I get overwhelmed by it, and I just
You just
remove
don't
myself.
respond.
We're not open, but I am open to like first experiences and things, and like we've had a lot of conversations about, you know, even like recently we were talking about like threesomes and stuff and whatever, like just being more open about it. And I think people in I'm making it sound like we're so old. We're really not that old.
Yeah, I feel like to Milo, we probably are.
Yeah, we're probably ancient.
Hey, yeah. joke.
Like,
But
no,
like,
you're not.
I think especially lesbians our age, it's very much like you're mine and that's it. And no new experiences and no like you
And
can't
it's
even look
bizarre.
at someone.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Like my first partner, who like to give them so much credit, they've changed so much and like a beautiful human. And not that they weren't a beautiful human back at the time, but I remember being like, I don't think I would want to not be open because I'm not your property.
Yeah.
Like you're not my property.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like I know lots of people in happy monogamous relationships and this isn't a judgment at all, but so often it's like if you have sex with someone else, then you have like diminished my ownership of you. You've diminished my relationship with your body and like knowing this thing about you that I don't want other people to know. And like me and my partner were like watching The Ultimatum. Like some of them who were just fucking, it was like, that looks so impersonal. Like they're just having sex and like good for them. But then some of them were like hugging each other and looking into each other's eyes. And we were like, oh, if you did that, it's over.
Yeah.
Like it's so over. If I found out you cuddled someone like that, you hugged someone like that, you touched someone like that, you looked at someone like that. Whereas I was like, go have sex with who you want. Just make sure to tell me all about it because I'm going to live for it. And we'd be like, really? Oh, they didn't. Oh, that's actually a great idea.
Why don't we try that?
We should try that. But I don't know. And like with my first partner, I could never be open. And as well, they had some biphobia issues, I think. That, like they hated one of my housemates. And like the other housemate, I would have understood because me and him were sleeping with each other before we dated. But they were like so jealous of my very gay man housemate because me and him had such a platonic, intimate relationship. And they were like, we're going to sleep with him. And I was like, my gay chef housemate, I think I'm missing some parts for him that are vital to his enjoyment. Some crucial parts I think I don't have. But it was so tied into just sex and sexuality and like, I don't know. I feel like for my jobs, so much of that is like a part of what I do anyway, that it's like, if you're going to be jealous of me sleeping with someone else, then can I do my shoots where I'm like topless and like, is that going to make you uncomfortable?
Yeah.
The work that I do where I'm go-go dancing or where I'm doing burlesque, like, is that comfortable with you?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to get jealous of fucking tiny 18-year-old dyke at show who's looking at me like they've never seen boobies before. Because that's just a part of my job is like
exactly
selling sex and sexuality through dancing and movement. And I mean, neither of us have like acted on our openness yet. Like, but I guess it's just nice and comforting to know that it's there. And like, there's been a couple of times where I've almost been like, hey baby, would you be okay if I slept with this person? And then they've been like, sure. And I'd be like, well, if you're awake and at home and it could be you, would you want that? And they'd be like, yeah, the front door's open. And I'm like, okay, bye. Poor lesbian that I'm talking to. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Have a wonderful night. My partner's they're just having an issue and I need to go help them. Bye. Yeah.
like poly definitely is never on the radar again for me, unfortunately. Sorry, poly people, but never gonna happen. But for many reasons. But
Your poly fans hoping to date you home are like, no.
Oh dear. But do you know why? Do you know what I think it is? I think it's because they don't understand the difference. Yeah. And what I took away from my poly experience is just that, like, not getting jealous over like the little shit, like being able to, like, if Clem wanted to wear something that was like super revealing, we've both been in that situation where I've nearly had like basically my tits out, and it's like, pop off, like,
I'm so here for it.
Yeah, well, you're here for it because you're looking.
But I'm here for everyone to look. I'm like, go for it. We're fucking sexy.
and that's,
Well, that's
what
so
I,
much of what I find hot about my partner is like they'll be standing in the front row of me performing and like I'll be performing to some teeny tiny lesbian who's 18 who's like, and like watching them watch me is
Yeah.
so hot.
It's so hot, right?
And they're also just like, oh, I love seeing tiny dyke who's never going to hook up with you, look at you with such adoration because
Yes.
I'm like, oh, that's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It's the little things, it's the little experiences. And then, you know, like I've got a lot of people who are in like hetero relationships that are struggling with like cheating and they're talking to someone or they liked a picture or whatever. And I'm like, imagine a life where you don't have to worry.
I'm like, they liked a picture.
I know. Did she have a good ass? Like what was it?
Was it a good photo?
Can you
Could
send?
pop off.
I think I sent Clem the other day a hot video that we both ended up watching like 17 times together, and it was like these two lesbians, and one of them was like just had her ass in the air. It was amazing. Like we
They were like
had
a
it on way too many
dancing
repeats.
couple.
Yeah,
But I was like, imagine in my previous relationships, there's just no fucking way that would have been okay to like even look at another person's body and be like, oh my God, hot. And that's what I've loved about my experience with it. And like, you know, talking about openness, whether it's like fully open, but I think once you've got that flexibility on different things, you're not going to necessarily take it. It's like a pressure off.
yeah.
And so you actually more like you want your partner more.
Also, like I love like we interrogate each other's taste. Like we met someone the other night at an opening
We do the same
night,
thing.
and I was like, "Oh my God, that person's so hot," and Kiara was like, "No, what?
Yeah.
Really?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, they're so hot." And then some video came up in their FYP, and they were like, "Oh, this came up at my work today," and I was like gagging, and they showed me, and I went, "That person is." Hey, I'm not gonna yuck your yum, but if I had to.
It would be that one.
It would
It
be
would
this
probably
time.
be that one. And then sometimes when we both go, oh my God, they're so hot. You think? Oh my God.
Literally, that's us watching any
Yeah.
queer show. And an I Kissed a Girl, we went like every time a different person came onto the screen for the first time, we're like, okay, first thoughts, go. And like have to like break it down. And then we talk about it with some of our friends, and some of our friends are exactly the same, and they'll break everything down as well. And then others are like, oh, I could never say, you know, this person's hot in front of my partner. And we're like, we don't want to hear the conversations we have.
Don't listen to the
Lynch.
podcast because we literally have a smash hit list.
But it was like the other day, this person who came up to us, I was like, oh my God, I think that she is so hot. And my partner was like, I objectively can see that they're hot because they look like what I'm going to look like when I'm 35. But right now it's like looking into a mirror and I'm not trying to fuck someone. They're like, look at you, look at me. I'm not trying to fuck someone that looks like me. And I went, so true.
Fair, but I also want to fuck you, so it makes sense.
I'm like, I'm
It's
sure
up.
if we met another, like a 36-year-old hot, fat, black lesbian mama, I'm going to go, not hot, and you're going to be like, oh, God. And they said, well, yes.
Exactly. I love it. You were talking before about like your burlesque stuff and funny story. We were talking about a bit of a like, we have like an episode plan. I don't know if you've noticed me just like looking down every now and again just to make sure we're on track. And so Clem was going through like the episode plan. And then she was like, yeah, so we're going to talk about this, this, and this. And then she goes, and then we're going to talk about show us your tips. And I was like, you're going to ask her to show you her tits? Like,
I was like, yeah, I'm just going to sit there, babe, and be like, and now show me your tits.
well, that's literally how she said it. She was like, now show me your tips. And I was like,
Whoa.
I'm like,
But babe, you can't do that.
it's like, it's up to you, but I don't know.
This is not season 1 of the L word. This
Yeah,
is
exactly.
the L word Q generation.
Yeah, exactly.
And she was like,
I was like, it's a
"Tips,
show."
Sarah.
Had to go through the whole Instagram and everything. I was like, oh my God.
No, tips is so fun. So fun.
So what made you get into that? What sort of started all of that sort of stuff?
Very random. So 2019, big party girl, out every Saturday. I just would get up on the podiums at like Poofdorf and just be like, woo. I mean, I was at musical theatre school, so I was like,
Yep.
y'all gays want to see my high kick into the splits? And they were like, yeah. And then I would do it, and it was cunt, and it was camp. And then moved back to Perth 2020. WAP comes out, and a drag queen in Perth is like, I really want to do it. If you like want to do the stalk, like if you go through the full video is on my Instagram of us performing WAP, but it's like, she was like, I don't know any black queens in Perth. Would you be willing to get into drag makeup and perform with me? And I was bored and said, yep.
I love that.
Did that, and all the queens were like, who the fuck are you? That was incredible. And I was like, I'm just a party girl. I'm Milo. And then I moved back to Melbourne, and incredible drag queen called Ruby Slippers was like, would you like to come be a part of our emerging artist night? And then kind of grew from there. I had a pasty maker offer to make me some pasties. So then I made an act around some pasties that I got sent. And then I did an act called Miss Rona, which was the personified version of the coronavirus. And she was a broad from New York who just wanted to spread her seed across the world.
Love it.
And yeah, it just kind of all happened from there. And lots of hard work laterally. Like I think lots of things in my life have been like, I'm talented as a host. I have skill set in dancing. I love to sing. I love to entertain. I'm great at holding a crowd. And then those things kind of people were like, do you want to try this? And I am such a yes man that I was like, I'll give it. How much are you paying me? I'll give it a go. I came back to Melbourne, and then some of the queens who had seen me absolutely off my rocker drunk at Poof Doof were like, hey, I don't know if this is your thing, but like I need some backup dancers. Would you want to come and do that? And I was like, yeah. And then it all just kind of grew from there. And then this year I did Show Us Your Tips, which is a fundraiser night for sex workers in Australia. And they donate to a bunch of awesome organisations that are in their Instagram. And they get a mix of like professional strippers, of which I am not. I wish I was. I get up and I always do something fun, sexy and silly, and then straight after me is like a professional stripper who's like so hot and so serious, and I'm like, oh. I literally, every time I do it, I'm like, I have to go first, because if XYZ is before me, I'm going to feel like a fucking idiot. But like, I always go first and do something that's like, no, and call it a night. But I just,
oh my God, I love it.
I mean, queer sex workers and strippers and women and trans women in our community, I feel like have fought so many battles that we now don't have to fight. And yeah, being a part of Show Us Your Tips, I was like, I feel like I want to give back in whatever that means, in whatever way I can. And, you know, also destigmatize stripping and sex working. And as much as they're not my full-time gigs, like, there is nothing wrong with those professions.
I love that. Yeah.
And I mean, it's scary, like, because it is so stigmatized, and I am 24 and aspiring to be an actor and, you know, a host and all that kind of crap. But if people like me aren't destigmatizing it as an influencer, and then who is?
Yeah. I love that. You were saying before in the crowd when you're dancing that there's often, you know, young queer people looking and watching, and I think that's one thing that everyone sort of takes for granted is how much people watch everyone. Not only, you know, the ones on the platform like yourself, but for me, the main reason of doing this whole thing is representation and having people representing our community and different ways of dressing and different ways of living. And I think that's something that drew me to you with your sort of platform and what you're doing, and that you're representing different people and different ways of life and having the confidence. And it's like, that's the stuff that I love. And I think for me, seeing that and hearing you talk about it, how you'll always notice those people in the crowd that's their first time sort of thing. I think it makes the biggest difference for all of those sort of people. So I think it's really important.
I don't often leave a performance night without somebody in tears at me talking about how I'm the first person they've seen who's black on stage, or the first person they've seen who's fat on stage, or that they've just come out and they're 19 and that they saw a post I posted when they were 16 that made them change how their relationship with seeing themselves as queer. And I, like, in the scheme of things, have not that big of a profile. Like, there are lots more famous lesbians, black people, queers, fat people than me, but I see that impact firsthand. And I'm like, you know, like, I had a lady come up to me the other day who was like, I live a very boring life and I think I'm queer, but I've been married for 10 years and I'm probably never going to leave it, but I try to show you to my kids so that if they're in that situation that they don't get stuck like I did. And I'm like, whoa, that is so heavy. Yeah. But I'm glad that hopefully that knowledge and seeing me will help your kids not have that experience. Or maybe one day you'll be brave enough to get out of that. Or you know, the gay man who's fat, who'd never seen a fat person on stage before, who's like, I'm fine with my gayness, but I never thought I'd see someone that made me feel that being fat could be hot. And I've seen you, and I just, it's awesome to see firsthand, like, the impact everyone can have on other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think body positivity, I know it's been talked about for so long, but actions mean more than words. And especially when I was growing up, it was very much like I was a dancer as a young girl, as I think we all are at some point. And it's very much like you can't eat this and you can't do this and you've got to be skinny and you've got to fit into a leotard and you've got to do these things. And like taking that as you get older, it definitely impacts me. Like I have massive body image issues and I struggle even now, like with cameras and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, like, oh, you can see everything. And so to see people, even just social media, like I've been purposely liking people's photos that aren't like, I shouldn't say like skinny or whatever, but like people who are different bodies and stuff, so that my feed, different backgrounds, different history, different body shapes, different looks. So my feed isn't just the same thing of like this bikini model who is also probably struggling with these same things. And that's been really important to me. So I'd imagine seeing your content to someone would be a massive impact on them and how they're feeling. Even if it's just something small, it could just be you at an event or something and they're just like, oh my God, like I love the dress that she's wearing. I would never wear that. And I love that you're wearing that. And so now I want to wear that. Like just those little things make a massive difference.
I made a huge post. I mean, I used to get really pissed off when people would be like, you're so brave, you're so confident.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, you don't know what you're saying by saying that. Like you're saying like, it's so insane that someone who looks like you could be confident. But I also can like get it. Like I get it. I mean, I literally remember the first time I wore a midriff top because it was such a huge day for me of like, I can do this. I can wear this in public. I can show my tummy in public and it's not a big, and like to hear me say that when like y'all have seen my Instagram now, it's not many pictures where 90% of my body is not on show and I'm like, hi everyone. But like I remember that like it was in 2018 and it was such a big day for me and like I had to go see my friends before I went to uni because I was like, do I look awful? And they were like, no, you look so hot. And I was like, okay. So like I get it. But it's just such a shame that like so many people don't have the confidence and the chutzpah to like wear stuff that does make you look good just because, you know, old Betty down the road was like, fat women shouldn't show their midriff. And it's like, well, Betty, if I looked like you, I probably wouldn't either. But,
But I look like me.
look like me and I look hot. Like, sorry. Yeah, I think it used to be like such a big deal. I got sent a dress from Jean-Paul Gaultier for my birthday and like it was just like, it was a piece of fabric. It was a piece of fabric. You could see everything. And like I think back to like 18-year-old me now and she would be like, firstly, you have a line to JPG, but secondly, you're wearing a dress that people can see your nipples in, let alone the rest of your body. That's crazy. And now it's just so, I don't know, I feel like loving my body was such a practice. Like it was just like every day deciding to choose myself and to choose to believe what I knew to be true and that it was that I was hot.
I love that.
Yeah, but it was hard work.
No,
and
but I
like,
love that. I think that is a narrative in itself that I think people will really relate to and will really help people because I think you see, like you said, your Instagram and you see all your content and you think she's so confident. She's, you know, she loves her body and she loves her image and love that and whatnot. And sort of similar to me, I'm in a position now where I wear a bit more tomboy stuff. I'm shopping the men's section and I'm not scared to anymore. And it was a long time to even wear hats and things like that, whereas now you won't see me without one on and things like that. But to become confident and to become comfortable in your own skin, people can really relate to that. And I think hearing these stories like we're trying to sort of share of how you weren't always this person that was super confident. It took work and it took time and you went from the same position that all these other people are in, that they don't love their body and they don't love where they're at now. So that I think hearing the story is crazy.
Yeah.
and as well, like that same year, I was thinking about it the other day. I don't remember what. Someone had said something to me about my body image and were kind of like, you weren't always confident. And it just like took me back to, we had a night, I say girls very loosely. It was like a girls' night because it was a girls' night and a boys' night at uni because you can't hang out with people of not your gender. That's crazy. Because what if you like fuck each other? Meanwhile, I'm there with all the lesbians, like all the closeted lesbians. I'm out, but like looking at the other girls in my class, like, hey, you look so cute in your little pajamas. And I'm like, oh, thanks. But we had to like rank who we thought like we didn't have to. We chose to be like, everyone was like, who does everyone think is the hottest and the ugliest? And I was so just like, I think this person's the hottest and like I'm probably the ugliest. And everyone was like, why do you think that? And I was like, oh, because I'm fat and I'm the only person of colour. So like that just like is automatically I'm just the ugliest person. And everyone was like, oh like my best friend he was there because it was like the girls' night and then the gay man. He's not even gay, he's bi. But anyway, it was 2018. It was a different time. And he was like, I can't believe you think that. And I was like, well, why wouldn't I think that? Everything tells me that. Like the world tells you that. If you're not thin, white, straight, blonde, dressed feminine and you're AFAB, like that you're just automatically not attractive. Like that's just like, why would I think anything else? And it took so long to work that out. I feel like so many men hammer that down of like you're only attractive if you're this thing. But being part of the queer community, I was like, oh, I'm so hot. I'm a hot commodity here. I walk into a lesbian event and I'm like, I'm going to be fighting them off. It's going to be a big night for me.
Well, there was a video going around recently of someone that really resonated with me where they were saying like, I'm not going to do anything anymore for the male gaze. And I was like, that's so true.
I do everything for the male gaze, GAYS, but nothing for the male gaze, GAZE.
Exactly. Like, I think that's the thing. Like, we're brought up with what's hot is for the male gaze. That's what's hot. Like, that's what you get thrown at you in all different ways. And to then, like, take a step back, and that's what I've learned coming out is, like, coming into the queer community. They couldn't give a fuck what the male gaze is. It's like, what do you mean? Like, who cares what they think?
Yeah.
And so that, yeah, like I'm still at that stage where I'm like, well, I got to realize that I'm hot and not like think about it. I'm still very much working through that. But that really hit home for me because I was like, yeah, fuck, true. Like every time I do something, not consciously, like subconsciously, I'm probably doing that because I'm so used to like looking a certain way for a man when couldn't give a shit if a man thinks I'm hot or not.
I identify as fat. I am fat. Nothing wrong with it, etc. But being any bigger than like a size 16, the world is like, you are meant to wear fluffy, black-shouldered, cut-out dress.
Shop at City Chic.
Shop at City Chic and wear like oversized things so nobody can see your ugly, ugly fat body. And it's like, well, no wonder I thought I was fat when I was wearing a floral black skirt and a shoulder cut out fucking top because that is fugly. Anyone would look fugly in that. Even the skinniest, most petite supermodel. You put Victoria Beckham in that and she's going to look uggo because it is. Like, if I was wearing the things that everyone else was wearing from 12, then I probably wouldn't have gone through all those things. But it was like, Mum, I want to get a mini skirt. And it's like, well, they don't have mini skirts in a size 16, baby, sorry.
Yeah.
You have to wear the cut-out shoulders.
Sorry, baby, we're getting you a cold shoulder jumpsuit. Is that okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm going...
What is with the shoulders? Why?
Because you can't have fat shoulders. So it's like...
Why do they cut it out? Like,
so that they can see the one part of your body that doesn't look fat.
Oh, my fucking God. What happens if you're cold? What do you do?
Tough tits. If you want to show off your one not ugly body part, Ms. Fat, then you're going to have to get the shoulder cut out. Sorry.
It's your only option.
It's your only option. So what else are we going to show? Your tummy? Oh, my God. It's actually horrific. I can't think about it.
Oh, my God. You're like the trauma.
Yeah, you're like, we're going too deep now,
I'm
guys.
like, oh, you don't want a shirt that says Paris on it? Too bad, Fat. Sorry, Fat, you're not getting it.
Oh, my God. It's so accurate. It's so accurate.
My cheeks hurt from laughing.
I know. I'm just realising that we have been going for a while.
Sorry.
No,
I feel
I
like
love
it's
it.
one of those conversations
No,
that
I
can
love
just
it.
go forever
I
as
love
well.
it. The last thing we want to talk about, I love how much you are wanting to represent all different people. It's not just about queer. Like I saw, that you're representing like Palestine and stuff like that, which is really important to me. And I just wanted to talk to you about like not just having that voice for all different communities, like how the pressure of that with social media and then obviously aligning to like brands and stuff, which can be really challenging, but having that platform. And I guess how has that been for you and what's important to you when you're trying to align with a brand when it comes to that kind of stuff? And yeah, and what are you doing as well with your activism
I think, in short, it's been pretty hard. Since October 7th, it's been very illuminating how many brands, people, theatre companies, production houses, films, etc., are fine with aligning with genocide. Kind of crazily so, where it's like, oh, like you don't care at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, hey, you're kind of coming across like this. And they're like, oh, thank God, that's exactly what we wanted. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, right. I think you can see in my socials, like if you compare this year to last year, I've done a significant amount less work, and it's not a lack of offers, but for offers, and then I research whatever it is. And it's like, I can't work with them. But I've been really lucky. No matter how hard it is for me, there is millions of kids across the world that are going through things that I don't think any of us could even conceptualize, really. And that's not for lack of trying from people on the internet literally posting like videos and pictures of kids and family members literally completely decimated to draw attention to it. And I'm like, I'm not getting X amount of money for doing partnership with XYZ. Like, I will live.
Yeah.
Really. And I get that there are some people, we are under the really horrifically strong hand of capitalism where it's like, I can't quit my job because my boss agrees with da-da-da. But I feel like to really famous actors and like people that are well levels above me and like from I think where I'm at and above, it's like you don't really have an excuse. Like I would be lying if I said I have to do this thing because I desperately need the money. It's like I can live.
Yeah.
I can live with what I've got, and like sacrificing this job because of my values, I think is literally the least I can do.
Yeah.
Like literally the least you can do. And I've definitely lost friends this last year and people that I thought were on my side. I don't speak to many people that I went to uni with, but it honestly just feels for me like a repeat of Black Lives Matter time.
Yeah.
Like begging my friends to care about this important political issue and them being like, obviously not saying in these words, but essentially being like, my job, my friends, my uncle, my dad's opinion is more important to me than bringing awareness to a genocide. And if people like that don't want to be friends with me, that's fine. I also don't want to be friends with them. I don't want to work with them. And it's definitely been like some things that I've like been so close to an opportunity, and then someone's been like, well, you have to delete your stuff about Palestine if you want to work with us. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. So I guess this is going to somebody else. Yeah. But it's too important. Like I actually couldn't imagine anything worse than in 40 years, my grandkids being like, and what did you do when that was happening? And I'm like, I really wanted to do this deal with this makeup brand who supported it. And, you know, it was either I didn't do it or I did. So I did do it. And I haven't thought about that partnership ever since. And now here I am, horrific, absolutely horrific. Like that, the idea of that. And like, you know, I remember in high school, like studying World War II and everyone in class being like, why didn't anyone say anything? And now we're just like living it in real life now. Yeah. It's like kind of crazy to watch how many people are like, I care about this issue, and then being like, oh, well, not that much. It's like, right.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing what I can right now, but I definitely think I could be doing more. I think everyone could be doing more.
I totally agree. I think everyone you can do what you can do, but everyone can do more.
Literally. Yeah. And like being a burlesque performer, being as outspoken as I am, I have so many friends that are Palestinian, that are Lebanese, that are really close to it. And I mean, even friends that are Jewish and so anti-Zionist and so anti-Israel, and like seeing how brave all of those people are to speak up and say things, and like have Jewish friends that now are not talking to any of their family because they're like, genocide is wrong and their family don't want to talk to them. And I'm like, if all of those people can speak up, then I can.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's hard. You know, I've also been trying to raise awareness of this since forever ago. Oh my gosh, I've got a lot of friends that are Palestinian, Lebanese. And I remember, you know, even going to a protest like 7 years ago now. Like I don't think people realize how long it's been going on for. And it's hard. And I can only imagine, you know, we don't have a massive platform. I don't have a massive platform personally, like taking away from the podcast, but I try and do everything I can. I can only imagine being an influencer and like having that potentially hurt your brand in whatever way, you know, people trying to pick sides and stuff. That'd be really tough.
And also just like, I accepted a partnership that like I had done my research, but in the time between I did my research and the partnership came out, the brand had signed some type of support thing with Israel, and I hadn't realised because once I'd kind of made my content, I wasn't researching it. And I feel very lucky that I have the kind of stuff that I do means that I have the people that follow me are a certain type of people, and therefore I posted this thing, and it was like within minutes I had about 30 comments like, this is fucked, why are you posting this? This is not the person I thought you were. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh no.
As stressful as that was, I'm so glad that like I have followers that, you know, my whole thing is accountability, inclusivity, diversity, fighting for what's right. And I'm so glad that I've developed a following that are people that hold me to that. And hopefully if they're holding me to that, holding the people in their lives to that.
Exactly.
And like, you know, I had stuff with like the people I went to uni with where I was like, during Black Lives Matter, I was like, are they only caring about this because I'm black and I'm in their class? And then I saw how they responded to all this and I went, oh, I was right. I like gaslit myself and was like, no, they're all supportive and like believe in stuff. And then it was like, unless it's going to stop them from getting a job, in which case then they don't really care.
Yeah, then they'll bite their tongue.
At that time in the musical theatre industry, it was like, if you don't care about this, then you're fucked. And so then everybody cared about it. But now that nobody cares about it anymore, nobody cares about it anymore.
Yeah.
I care more about being on the right side of history than being the most successful influencer in Australia or the most successful performer in Australia. And I think that's always going to be my ethos.
I love that. It just speaks to who you are deep down.
And it's so annoying because I'm like, oh, I'm 24. And there are people out here who are like 40 who are just like doing whatever they want. But
I thought you were about to say 30 and I was like, oh, okay.
I thought about
really
saying 35, but then I went for 40. The 40.
Really
She read the room.
I'm not even 30, I'm 31.
It's the Gemini in me. I said,
Two-faced.
I see you. I see
She
you.
would have said 35.
If I was on a podcast with someone who was like 25, I would have said 30, but I see you both and I respect you, okay? I'm an ally.
I'm an ally for the elders.
Yeah, I am for the elderly community. No, I got called a queer elder the other night at work and I went, I'm only 24. And they went, yeah.
Oh my God, I'd be a quick grandma.
True. They were like, yeah, I feel like you passed 22. And then it's like, you're just like unknowledgeable. And I was like,
Wow. Well, welcome to the club then.
don't start.
Oh my God. Okay. Thank you so much. It's been honestly such a pleasure having you on. I feel like we could do this potty for bloody hours, but we always do that. And then poor Clem has to edit half the fucking thing out. So thank you. It's been such a pleasure. And
Thanks for the food.
you're
This is
so
awesome.
welcome.
I tried to save you some.
Yeah, best day ever.
And yeah, I think that's a wrap.
We really appreciate
Maybe
it.
we'll start with climate change.
Let's talk about
What else can we tackle in the next one?
What can lesbians be doing for climate change?
And we will have Milo back to talk about Oh, funny. All right, we do something at the end of every podcast. We say 1, 2, 3, love you, bye.
Okay.
We never used to say 1, 2, 3, but then what happened is too many people said I love you, bye, not at the right time. It was very overwhelming.
Okay, I'm
in
ready.
the headphones. So I'll say 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go love you, bye.
Yep.
1, 2, 3,
Love you, bye. 3-part harmony. It's gorgeous.